I want you to stop for a moment and really think about how you ended up here. Out of billions of pieces of content on the internet, out of infinite possibilities of what you could be watching right now, you're here. You clicked on this video, your eyes are reading these words, your mind is absorbing this message, and I'm telling you with absolute certainty, this is not a coincidence. The universe doesn't do coincidences. Everything is connected, everything has meaning, and everything happens in perfect divine timing. You've been searching for something, haven't you? Maybe you don't even know exactly what it is. Maybe it's just a feeling, a sense that there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing. Maybe you've been struggling, suffering, questioning why certain things keep happening to you. Maybe you've been asking for guidance, for a sign, for some kind of confirmation that you're on the right path, or that things are going to get better. Well, I'm here to tell you that this video is your confirmation. This is the sign you've been waiting for. But you have to promise me something. You have to stay until the very end. The universe has a complete message for you, and if you leave early, you'll miss the most important part that's specifically meant for your situation. I know we live in a world of short attention spans and endless distractions, but this is your moment to be fully present, to receive what the universe is trying to give you. So right here, right now, make a commitment to yourself that you'll watch this entire video, because what I'm about to share could be the catalyst for a major transformation in your life. Before we go deeper, I need your help with something important. Let's create a powerful collective energy by reaching 100 comments on this video. When you leave a comment, you're not just typing words, you're sending your intention out into the universe, and you're joining your energy with thousands of other souls who are on similar journeys of awakening and transformation. The universe responds to collective consciousness. When we unite with a common purpose, we amplify our manifestation power exponentially. So as you watch this video, think about what you want to share. What question do you have for the universe? What breakthrough are you experiencing? What hope are you holding on to? Write it in the comments and let's build this energy together. And please, subscribe to this channel and watch until the very end. This is crucial not just for the algorithm, but for your own spiritual journey. When you subscribe and watch completely, you're telling the universe that you're ready, that you're committed, that you're willing to receive the blessings and messages that are meant for you. Those who watch until the end are always favored by the platform and by the divine forces that orchestrate our lives. You'll be notified first when new transformative content arrives, and you'll always be one step ahead of those who give up too soon. To continue helping you on your journey, all the universe asks is that you leave a motivational comment on this video, something authentic from your heart, something that might light up someone else's darkness. Your words carry energy, and they create waves of impact that travel further than you can imagine. We need to hit our goal of 100 comments to keep bringing you more powerful stories like this one, so please be part of this sacred mission. Now let me take you into a story that will help you understand why nothing in your life is random. There was a man I'll call Marcus. Marcus had always been a logical, rational person. He believed in science, in facts, in things he could measure and prove. He thought people who talked about the universe sending signs or divine intervention were naive, delusional, or just looking for comfort in a chaotic world. He lived his life making calculated decisions based on data and reason, and for a long time it worked for him. He had a successful career in engineering, a comfortable life, and everything seemed to be going according to his well-constructed plan. But then, something happened that shattered his entire worldview. Marcus's younger brother, the only family he had left after their parents passed away, was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive illness. The doctors gave him 6 months to live. Marcus was devastated in a way he had never experienced before. All his logic, all his rational thinking, all his carefully laid plans meant nothing in the face of this reality. He threw himself into research, consulting with specialists, exploring every possible treatment option, determined to save his brother through sheer force of will and intellectual prowess. But despite everything he did, despite all the cutting-edge treatments and experimental therapies, his brother's condition continued to deteriorate. Marcus felt helpless, angry, and completely lost. One night, sitting alone in a hospital waiting room at 3 in the morning, Marcus did something he had never done before. He looked up at the ceiling and spoke out loud, feeling foolish but desperate. If there's anything out there, any force or intelligence that's listening, I need help. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to accept this. I don't know how to find meaning in something so senseless. Please, show me something. Give me anything that helps me understand. Nothing dramatic happened in that moment. No voice from heaven, no sudden revelation. Marcus went home exhausted and fell into a restless sleep. But the next morning, something strange occurred. He was getting coffee at his usual cafe when he overheard a conversation between two women at the next table. One of them was talking about how she had lost her son 5 years ago and how she had found peace by volunteering at a hospice, helping other families navigate the final stages of their loved ones' lives. She said something that struck Marcus like lightning. I realized that death isn't the opposite of life, it's a part of life. And the greatest gift we can give someone who's dying is not to fix them or save them, but to be fully present with them, to let them know they're not alone, and to help them find peace with their journey. Marcus sat frozen, his coffee growing cold in his hands. He had been so focused on fighting his brother's illness, on defeating death, that he hadn't actually been present with his brother. He had been treating the situation like a problem to solve, rather than a sacred passage to honor. He went to the hospital that afternoon with a completely different energy. Instead of talking about treatments and statistics, he simply sat with his brother. They talked about their childhood, about their dreams, about their regrets, about their love for each other. They laughed, they cried, they shared silence. Marcus's brother told him that he wasn't afraid of dying. He was afraid of dying alone, afraid that his life hadn't mattered. Marcus assured him that his life had mattered immensely, that he had shaped Marcus into the man he was, that his presence in the world had been a gift that would continue to ripple forward even after he was gone. Marcus's brother passed away 3 weeks later, but it was peaceful. He was surrounded by love, and he left this world with a sense of completion that Marcus had helped him find. And Marcus, the man who had never believed in anything beyond the physical world, had experienced something that transformed him forever. He realized that the conversation he had overheard at the cafe wasn't random. It was exactly what he needed to hear at exactly the right moment. It had shifted his entire approach and allowed him to give his brother the one thing that mattered most: presence, love, and permission to let go. From that day forward, Marcus could no longer dismiss the idea that there was some kind of intelligence orchestrating events, bringing people and messages together in perfect timing, guiding us toward what we need, even when we don't know what that is. After his brother's death, Marcus's life changed completely. He left his engineering job and went back to school to become a grief counselor. He now helps people navigate loss, and he always tells them the story of the cafe conversation that changed everything for him. He tells them that the universe is always speaking to us, always guiding us, but we have to be willing to listen. We have to be willing to see the connections, to trust the timing, to believe that even our deepest pain has purpose. So let me ask you, what brought you to this video? What were you feeling right before you clicked? What question has been on your mind? What struggle have you been facing? I want you to consider that this video appeared in your feed, or someone shared it with you, or you somehow found it for a reason. The universe is answering you right now through these words. Pay attention to what resonates, to what makes you feel something, because that's where your personal message lives. Maybe you've been dealing with financial stress. Perhaps you're behind on bills, drowning in debt, watching your bank account shrink while your anxiety grows. You might be working multiple jobs and still barely making ends meet. You might feel trapped in a cycle of scarcity, unable to see a way out, wondering why abundance seems to flow so easily to others, but not to you. If this is your situation, I want you to hear this. Your financial struggles are not punishment. They're not evidence that you're a failure or that the universe has abandoned you. They're actually an invitation to transform your relationship with money, security, and abundance. The universe is asking you to examine your beliefs about wealth, to heal your scarcity mindset, and to open yourself to receive in new ways. Let me share a powerful truth about money that most people never understand. Money is energy. It flows where it's welcomed, appreciated, and respected. If you're constantly in a state of fear, resentment, or desperation about money, you're actually repelling it. Your energy is saying, there's never enough. And the universe responds by giving you more experiences of not enough. But when you shift to gratitude for what you have, when you trust that you're supported, when you open yourself to unexpected abundance, everything changes. This doesn't mean you ignore practical reality or don't take action. It means you take inspired action from a place of trust, rather than panicked action from a place of fear. Here's what I want you to do starting today. Every single day, write down 3 things you're grateful for financially, no matter how small. Maybe it's that you have clean water to drink. Maybe it's that someone bought you lunch. Maybe it's that you found $1 in your pocket. Maybe it's that your car still runs. Maybe it's that you have skills and abilities that have value. Train your mind to see what's working financially, rather than only what's lacking. This practice literally rewires your neural pathways and shifts your energetic frequency. Additionally, I want you to give something, even if it's tiny. Give $1 to someone who needs it more than you. Buy a coffee for the person behind you in line. Share your skills with someone for free. When you give from a place of genuine generosity, you're telling the universe, I have enough to share. And the universe mirrors that back to you by bringing more into your life. I know a woman named Rachel who was $70,000 in debt and making minimum wage. She was absolutely desperate and couldn't see any possible way out of her situation. One day she learned about this principle of giving even when you feel like you have nothing to give. It felt counterintuitive and even stupid to her, but she was out of options, so she decided to try it. She started giving $5 a week to a local charity. It was money she felt like she couldn't afford to give, but she did it anyway as an act of faith. She also started a daily gratitude practice specifically focused on money. Within 3 weeks, something unexpected happened. A former colleague reached out to her about a job opportunity that paid 3 times what she was currently making. Within 6 months, she had that job and a clear plan to eliminate her debt. Within 2 years, she was completely debt-free. She swears that it was the shift in her energy and mindset that opened those doors, that the universe responded to her decision to act as if she was abundant, even when her bank account said otherwise. Maybe your struggle isn't financial. Maybe it's about love and relationships. Perhaps you've been heartbroken by someone you thought was your forever person. Maybe you've been betrayed, lied to, or abandoned, and now you're struggling to trust anyone. Maybe you're single and desperately lonely, wondering if you'll ever find someone who truly sees you and loves you for who you are. Or maybe you're in a relationship that feels dead, where you're living like roommates rather than lovers, where the passion and connection have faded into routine and resentment. If this is you, the universe wants you to know something crucial. You are not unlovable. Your worth is not determined by whether someone chooses you or stays with you. And every heartbreak, every disappointment, every failed relationship has been preparing you for the love you're truly meant to experience. The universe uses relationships as mirrors to show us what we need to heal within ourselves. Every person who triggers us, who disappoints us, who doesn't meet our needs, is actually showing us where we're not whole within ourselves. This isn't about blaming yourself for other people's bad behavior. It's about recognizing that we attract people who match our level of self-love, self-respect, and emotional healing. When you've done the work to love yourself completely, when you've healed your wounds and set healthy boundaries, when you know your worth without needing external validation, you naturally attract people who can love you in healthy ways. And you naturally repel people who would mistreat you because the energy doesn't match anymore. If you're heartbroken right now, the universe is inviting you into a period of deep self-discovery and self-love. Use this time to become the person you want to attract. Use this time to heal old wounds, to develop your interests and passions, to build a life that's so fulfilling that a partner would be an enhancement rather than a necessity. And if you're in a struggling relationship, the universe is asking you to get radically honest. Have a conversation with your partner that you've been avoiding. Express your needs clearly and listen to theirs. Be willing to do the work of reconnecting, or be willing to lovingly release what no longer serves either of you. Staying in a dead relationship out of fear or obligation serves no one, not you, not them, and not the universe's plan for both of your lives. There was a man named Thomas who spent 8 years in a relationship that made him miserable. He and his partner had grown apart, wanted different things, and barely communicated anymore. But Thomas stayed because he was terrified of being alone, terrified of starting over, terrified of hurting her by leaving. He felt trapped and resentful, and his unhappiness was seeping into every area of his life. One night, after another fight that ended in cold silence, Thomas asked the universe, "What should I do? Should I stay or should I go? Please give me a clear sign because I can't figure this out on my own." The next day, Thomas was at a bookstore and a book literally fell off the shelf and landed at his feet. He picked it up and the title was "The Courage to Let Go: How Releasing What No Longer Serves You Creates Space for What's Meant for You." He opened it to a random page and read, "Sometimes love means releasing someone because staying together is preventing both people from becoming who they're meant to be." Thomas felt like the universe had just reached down and handed him the answer he'd been too afraid to admit to himself. He had that difficult conversation with his partner that week, and they made the mutual decision to end the relationship with love and respect. It was painful, but it was also freeing. Within a year, Thomas had met someone who was so much more aligned with who he was and what he wanted from life. And his ex-partner had also found happiness with someone else. The universe had been waiting for one of them to be brave enough to make the change that needed to happen. Perhaps your question to the universe is about your health. Maybe you've been dealing with chronic pain, illness, or exhaustion. Maybe you've been to doctor after doctor without getting real answers or relief. Maybe you're struggling with mental health challenges like depression, anxiety, or trauma. Maybe you're caught in addictions or destructive patterns that you can't seem to break. If this is your situation, please hear me. Your body is not your enemy. Your mind is not broken. You are not damaged beyond repair. What you're experiencing is your body and mind trying to tell you something, trying to get your attention, trying to signal that something needs to change. The universe often speaks to us through our physical and emotional pain when we're not listening in other ways. Your body holds trauma, stress, unexpressed emotions, and limiting beliefs. Sometimes physical illness is the manifestation of emotional or spiritual imbalance. This doesn't mean your pain isn't real or that you shouldn't seek medical treatment. It means that true healing often requires addressing multiple dimensions: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. The universe is inviting you to listen deeply to what your body and mind are trying to communicate. What is this pain or illness preventing you from doing? What is it forcing you to confront? What would your life need to look like for you to feel truly well? I know a woman named Jennifer who had debilitating migraines for 15 years. She had tried every medication, every treatment, every specialist. Nothing provided lasting relief. She was missing work, missing out on her children's lives, living in constant fear of the next migraine attack. In desperation, she asked the universe, "Why is this happening to me? What am I supposed to learn from this? What do I need to do differently?" Shortly after, a friend recommended she try working with a therapist who specialized in mind-body connection. Through that work, Jennifer discovered that her migraines always intensified when she was suppressing anger or forcing herself to do things she didn't want to do to please other people. She realized she had spent her entire life being the good girl, saying yes when she meant no, prioritizing everyone else's needs above her own, and swallowing her authentic feelings to keep peace. As Jennifer learned to set boundaries, to express her true feelings, to honor her own needs, and to release people-pleasing patterns, her migraines decreased dramatically. She still gets them occasionally, but now she sees them as messengers telling her she's slipping back into old patterns of self-abandonment. Her body was never the problem. It was the solution, trying to force her to pay attention to what her life was lacking. The universe had been speaking to her through physical pain because she wasn't listening in any other way. Maybe your question to the universe is about your purpose and direction in life. Maybe you feel completely lost, like you're drifting without a compass. Maybe you're in a career that pays the bills but slowly kills your soul. Maybe you have dreams and passions, but you're too afraid to pursue them. Maybe you're overwhelmed by all the possibilities and you don't know which path to take. Maybe you're comparing yourself to others who seem to have it all figured out while you're still struggling to find your way. If this resonates with you, the universe wants you to understand something liberating. You don't have to have it all figured out. Your purpose isn't something you find once and then follow for the rest of your life. It evolves as you evolve. It reveals itself step by step, not all at once. The universe is asking you to focus on what's right in front of you. What small action can you take today that moves you in the direction of what lights you up? What brings you joy? What makes you lose track of time? What would you do even if no one paid you or praised you for it? Those are your clues. Follow them without needing to know where they lead. Trust that each step will reveal the next step. Your purpose isn't necessarily about having a specific job title or achieving a particular level of success. It's about bringing your authentic gifts and energy into whatever you do. It's about being fully yourself and allowing that to impact the people and situations around you. There's a man named Kevin who spent a decade feeling purposeless. He had a corporate job that bored him to tears, but it was safe and well-paying. He had always loved music and played guitar as a hobby, but he had convinced himself that it was too late to do anything real with that passion. One weekend, he was at a community event, and someone asked him to play a few songs. He reluctantly agreed, thinking no one would really care, but as he played, he noticed people stopping, listening, connecting with the music. After he finished, a woman came up to him with tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you. I've been going through the hardest time of my life, and your music just gave me a moment of peace that I desperately needed." Kevin was stunned. He had no idea his music could affect someone so deeply. That moment planted a seed. He started playing at local venues on weekends. He started teaching guitar to kids in his neighborhood. He started writing his own songs. He never quit his day job, but his life transformed because he was finally honoring the thing that made him feel alive. His purpose wasn't to become a famous musician. It was to share the gift of music in whatever way he could, to bring moments of beauty and connection into people's lives. The universe had been waiting for him to take that first small step of playing at the community event. Once he did, doors opened that he never could have predicted. Now I want to talk about something that affects almost everyone watching this. The feeling that you're not good enough. Maybe you're constantly comparing yourself to others and coming up short. Maybe you're plagued by self-doubt, by the voice in your head that says you're not smart enough, attractive enough, talented enough, successful enough, worthy enough. Maybe you're terrified of being seen, of putting yourself out there, because you're sure you'll be rejected or ridiculed. Maybe you're hiding your true self, your true desires, your true dreams, because you're afraid of being judged or disappointing people. If this is you, the universe has a message that you desperately need to hear. You are enough exactly as you are right now. You don't need to fix yourself, improve yourself, or become someone different to be worthy of love, success, happiness, and belonging. You are inherently valuable simply because you exist. The feeling of not being enough is not the truth about you. It's a lie that was programmed into you by past experiences, by people who projected their own insecurities onto you, by a culture that profits from making you feel inadequate, so you'll keep buying things to fill the void. The universe sees your divine essence, the part of you that is pure consciousness, pure love, pure potential. That part of you has never been damaged and never will be. Everything else, all the flaws and mistakes and imperfections, are just human experiences, not your identity. Here's a practice that can help you reclaim your sense of worthiness. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say out loud, "I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved." Do this every single day, even if you don't believe it yet, especially if you don't believe it yet. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what you tell it repeatedly. You've been telling yourself negative messages for years, maybe decades. Now it's time to override those old programs with new truth. It will feel awkward and fake at first. Do it anyway. Over time, something shifts. You start to believe it. You start to embody it. And when you truly know your worth, your entire life transforms because you stop settling for things, people, and situations that don't honor your value. I want to share one final story before we close this journey together. There was a young woman named Sophia who had been suicidal. She had been through unimaginable trauma in her childhood and had spent years believing that she was fundamentally broken, that she would never be happy, that the world would be better off without her. One night she was planning to end her life. She had written goodbye letters, she had a plan, and she was ready to go through with it. But some small part of her decided to ask the universe one last question. If there's any reason I should stay alive, show me. Give me one reason to believe my life has purpose. She didn't expect an answer, but she decided to take a walk before going through with her plan, sort of a last look at the world. As she was walking through a park, she saw a little girl who had fallen off her bike and was crying. The girl's parents weren't around, and she looked terrified. Sophia went over to help her. She checked to make sure the girl wasn't seriously hurt, helped her clean up her scraped knee, and sat with her until her parents found them. The girl's mother was incredibly grateful and said, "Thank you so much. You were her angel today." That word angel struck something deep in Sophia. She realized that even in her darkest moment, even when she felt utterly worthless and broken, she had something to offer. She had been able to comfort a scared child. She had made a difference, even a small one. That moment saved her life. She decided to stay to get help to fight through the darkness. It wasn't easy or quick, but she did the work of healing. Today, Sophia is a suicide prevention counselor. She helps other people who are where she was, and she tells them the story of the little girl in the park. She tells them that the universe is always giving us reasons to stay. We just have to be willing to see them. So here's what I want you to understand with every fiber of your being. Nothing happens by chance. The universe brought you to this video because you needed to hear something specific. Maybe it was a story that resonated with your situation. Maybe it was a piece of advice that gave you a new perspective. Maybe it was just the reminder that you're not alone, that there's a divine intelligence guiding your life, that everything you're experiencing has meaning and purpose. Your struggles are not punishments. They're initiations into deeper levels of wisdom, strength, and compassion. Your pain is not wasted. It's preparing you to help others who will face similar challenges. Your questions are not being ignored. They're being answered in perfect timing, often in ways you don't expect. The universe is asking you to trust the process of your life, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you can't see where you're headed. It's asking you to look for the signs, to pay attention to the synchronicities, to notice the messages that are being delivered to you constantly through people, situations, and your own intuition. It's asking you to take action, to take the next right step even when you're scared, to say yes to opportunities that feel aligned even when they're outside your comfort zone. And it's asking you to have faith that you are exactly where you're meant to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you're meant to become. Before you go, I want to remind you of our collective goal. Let's get 100 comments on this video. Share what this message meant to you. Ask your question to the universe. Tell your story of synchronicity or transformation. Your voice matters, and your words might be exactly what another soul needs to hear today. And please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss future messages that are meant for you. The universe rewards those who stay committed and present. Those who watch until the end and engage fully are always remembered first, both by the algorithm and by the divine forces that orchestrate our lives. To continue helping you, the universe simply asks that you leave a motivational comment on this video, something from your heart that adds to our collective energy of hope and transformation. We need to hit this goal to keep bringing you more life-changing content like this. And if you want, tell me from which corner of the world you are watching this video. Your comment matters, and I want to read it and respond to you. For more exciting stories like this, click on the video that appears on your screen right now.